theories of corrosion. How many types of corrosions are there and how can you say these things? Before going to that, we come here to explain why is this happening. In this slide I showed you that this is rusty said. Why is rust happening to iron? Iron has started rusting, and I will see if you see water pipelines also were made up of iron. Even if we use plastic, yes, plastic it is not strong. So we will be using always iron pipelines only. So if you see here, what happens if rusting happens? It will be leading to severe consequences, I said. What is the reason? I want a reason here. Why is it rusting? Why is this compound formed? Already told no? What did I say? I said that this rusting or all the corrosion is taking place in order to achieve the more stable, less energy state by combining with the surrounding environment. Very good. What is that environment? That is what we are going to discuss now. So in order to explain in detail the types of the reason for corrosion, the cause of corrosion, we have two important theories. The first theory is called as chemical theory of corrosion. Chemical theory of corrosion. It is also called as the dry theory of corrosion, because dry means it is because you can see here when metals undergoes corrosion to reaction with the air in the absence of moisture. There is no moisture. There are also metals corrode. Am I clear? Even though there is no moisture, if the metals corrode, that type of corrosion is called as dry corrosion. Sir, how can it happen? Yes, it happens. See here, the first one, corrosion due to oxygen. Some metals, they directly react with oxygen in the absence of moisture. This is very, very important. Dry. Absence of moisture means dry. Is it clear? So, you have kept these silver items. Will you throw all the silver articles into the sink and wash them daily with water? No. You will keep them very safe in a shelf, right? Iron shall be taken and we lock it and keep the keys very carefully. But still, who is going inside that iron shelf and making the color of the silver to black? Who is going there? What's happening there? That is why you have to understand here. In the absence of moisture, even though there is no moisture there, even at room temperature, almost all metals directly react with oxygen, and generally at high temperatures, they form their metal oxide film. So metal, simple, in order to write all these things simple, metal reacts with oxygen to form its metal oxide. MO or MO2, whatever may be, metal oxide. Metal oxide is formed. So in this type of corrosion, the rate of corrosion, this is important. What is the rate of corrosion? Depends upon the nature of the metal oxide film. So at what rate, at high temperatures the corrosion is formed? How much time it will take in order to corrode? Will it take within 1 hour? Or is it going to take it in 1 month or 1 week or 1 year? So that rate of corrosion depends upon the nature of the metal oxide film, the stability. So that is what we are going to discuss now. We are discussing that the nature of the metal oxide film defines the rate of corrosion in dry theory of corrosion or chemical theory of corrosion. So how many types of nature oxides are formed, sir? Means first one is stable. Very clearly you have to concentrate here. Stable, protective, non-porous. So three properties I have said: stable, protective, non-porous metal oxide film. So it very clearly says that it is stable. The metal oxide film is very stable and it is non-porous. So for example, we will show you, I will show you here. Let us take, this is a metal. What metal? I have given you some examples here. Let it be lead, Pb, or aluminium, or tin. The best example is your electric wires, not in your home. Yes, in the street. If you see the street, so if you raise your head up, you can find the electric lines there. They are made up of aluminum. When they are newly installed, they will be in which color? They will be silver in color, right? Very bright. Aluminum is very, very bright. But after some time, underline the word, that word, underline the word sometime. What is sometime? Rate of corrosion. It becomes, now if you see outside and go outside and see there, your aluminum wires now becomes black. So is someone going and putting the black paint there? No. Then why is it undergoing the color change? That is because of the corrosion. Right? But this aluminum, we will take this as aluminum. Then what happens? I said there is a layer is being formed. So let us think this is a metal and this is the oxide layer. This is oxide layer. We will explain it as an oxide layer. This is oxide. Oxide layer is there. So if I take a metal block, on all sides oxide layer will be there. So like this. Now this oxide layer is surrounding all the sides. Very nice, and it is stable. So will the oxide layer deteriorate? So for example, we are taking lead or aluminum, no problem. If you take aluminum, Al2O3 is formed. Al2O3 is a stable compound. So stable and protective. Protective means it is not going to react more and it is not going to allow the oxygen to enter inside because it is non-porous. Are there any holes here? We have drawn a line here around this one. So there are no holes. When there are no holes, holes here is pores. Pore means P-O-R-E, pore. Pore means hole. If there is no hole, then there is no air allowed to go inside. Inside there is metal, ready to react with the oxygen. But in between these two, there is a oxide layer. So just we will assume that there is a buffalo standing outside, that is air, and there is grass in our ground, that is our metal. Buffalo is ready to eat the grass, but here in the middle there is a dog. This dog can the dog eat this one? No. Dog cannot eat the grass, but simply it barks at the buffalo. Therefore, it is going to protect the grass here. So the metal is being protected. So that is what I have written here. Simply, let me go through this. So these oxides of lead, aluminum and tin, they are stable and non-porous. So they form the tightly adhering non-porous metal oxide film. It acts as a barrier. This word I was insisting you to understand. So it acts as a barrier to prevent the contact of inner surface of metal and air. So this is hero, this is heroine, and this is our villain. Who is the villain here? The oxide layer is the villain. So this villain is not going to allow the hero and heroine to meet each other. That is it. Simply can assume this. That's how. What is the use for us? Then we go for the movie. Similarly, it prevents the rate of corrosion. So it will not allow this to corrode. That is the reason. Even though the electric wires of aluminum wires are installed 10 to 20 years back also, even though 20 years they happened, only a black film will be formed on that, but they are not going to break. But instead of that, if you use some other, such as iron wires, even in our house, household purpose, for hanging of the clothes, we generally tie the iron wire. What happens? It starts rusting, and after some usage, after 1 year, it gives some cracks and breaks. Right? So that is the reason. The nature of the metal oxide film decides the rate of corrosion. That is what I want you to understand. So here these are what are the oxides I am using? Lead, aluminium and tin. That's what you have to understand. So next one we will see. The first type is stable. Now this is unstable metal oxide. If the metal oxide is unstable, unstable means metal is reacting to oxygen to form metal oxide. Very nice, excellent. But this is not stable. Immediately it breaks down and again forms our metal and oxygen. Then what happens? Will never metal oxygen react with each other? No. So just for an example, here we have. So some of the metal oxides undergo decomposition as soon as they are formed. So this metal never participate in the corrosion. Example is our gold and platinum. So if the golden ring you can see for my finger. So when I buy this, it will be more bright. But now it is not more shining. What's happening here? Is this metal not being corroded? No, it is not corroded, but it is undergoing some reactions. What reactions are taking place? This is gold tries to react with oxygen and forms a compound. But this compound immediately breaks again to form gold. That is the reason why gold loses its brightness after usage. Gold loses its brightness. Gold and platinum, they are becoming more noble metals. We call them as noble metals. Why are called the noble metals? Because they are not going to react, they say. But actually the process is, they are reacting. But the product is not stable. The product is not stable. So, we are using this thing. Two I have said. The first one is stable, protective, non-porous metal oxide film. Then no corrosion. Second one I told you, unstable metal oxide film. Then also no corrosion. I hope you understand it. The third one we will see. Stable, non-protective and porous. So it is stable, very nice. But non-protective means it is not going to protect it. And porous. Porous means it is having some holes. When the holes are there, immediately you can assume that the air enters into the holes and again reacts with the metal there and again it gives some pores and again goes inside. So what happens? The oxide films of generally we will examples are alkali and alkaline earth metals. They are stable. Magnesium oxide is stable, but it having the pores, porous nature. So due to this, air molecules, they enter through the pores and they interact with the inner layer and increases the rate of corrosion. Continuously it will be increasing. So finally nothing is left. So is this useful for us to stop or prevent corrosion? No, this cannot be used. Stable. Even though the metal oxide is stable, it is non-protective and porous. Porous means it is having holes. So it is not going to protect our metal. It is completely consuming the metal. The fourth type is volatile metal oxide film. Volatile means, best example is molybdenum. Molybdenum forms metal oxide MoO3. MoO3. Molybdenum, in presence of oxygen, it is going to react to form molybdenum oxide, and it is not staying to stay there. It go away. Here, molybdenum oxide is a gas, so it moves off at high temperature. Then again you have a molybdenum. Again what is the oxygen? Again molybdenum, one molecule is taken away. So it implies that it will increase the rate of corrosion. So it is going to increase the rate of corrosion. So it increases the rate of corrosion until all the metal is exhausted. So for this volatile metal oxide film, let me give you an example. Here, assume that there are 10 chicken pieces here. So one person has come and taken one. After taking this, can he will be sit here there only? No, he will go. Along with him, we had taken one chicken piece. Similarly, if 9 people have come, one after the other, what happens? One oxygen is coming, taking the molybdenum, forming it, my oxide film, and leaving. Finally, what is left in the plate? Nothing is left. That is the case here. So, molybdenum undergoes corrosion very fast because of the formation of volatile metal oxide film cannot protect, and stable non-protective porous metal oxide film also cannot protect. But the previous two, this is going to protect our corrosion, this is going to protect from corrosion. So these are the 4 important things I was saying about, because the nature or type of rate of corrosion depends upon the nature of the film, metal oxide film. This is the reason why I was discussing all these things. This is all coming under only first part, that is corrosion due to oxygen. So we are only seeing only single heroine. Who is the heroine here? Oxygen. So with oxygen only there are 4 films. What are those 4 films? The first one is stable, protective, non-porous metal oxide film. Yes, this will stop corrosion. Second film is unstable metal oxide film. Here also no corrosion. Very good. But coming to the third one, stable, non-protective and porous. Porous means holes. If there are holes, immediately, yes, it will be corroded. So this is flop. And fourth one is volatile metal oxide. The metal oxide is stable, but is highly volatile. At high temperature, it is going to go away. So this is also flop. So out of these 4 properties, these 2 cannot protect it, and first 2 will protect the film. At this junction, we have to discuss about a rule called as Pilling-Bedworth rule. So this is, what is this Pilling-Bedworth rule means? So Pilling-Bedworth rule is a ratio of what is the volume of metal oxide film divided by what is the volume of metal consumed for formation of metal oxide. Here, the ratio of volume of metal oxide film formed, what, right, to volume of metal consumed for the formation of metal oxide is unity or greater than unity, then that metal oxide film is considered stable and protective. This ratio, if it is greater than 1, it is stable. Otherwise, it is volatile and porous and non-protective. So I will explain you with the next slide. Here, see here. So this is a ratio of Pilling-Bedworth rule. RPB means ratio of Pilling-Bedworth. If it is less than 1, the oxide is too thin and broken, and hence no protective effect. Therefore, it is useless. It is not. It cannot protect it. So, for example, magnesium. Magnesium is forming a very thin film. The layer coating is very, very thin, and it will be broken. Broken means porous. So porous. So no protection. If it is greater than 2, then the oxide coating chips off. Chips off means breaks. So here you see here, this is, if it is less than 1, what happens? There are small holes here. Look here at the diagram here. So small holes. So I will change the color here to red. So see here, wherever I draw there are some holes here. So oxygen enters inside through the holes. If PBV is less than 1, so they are non-protective. Less than 1, non-protective. Greater than 2, so that oxide, this is a metal oxide. This oxide breaks. Chips means breaks. So if you see a rusted rod of iron, you can see it breaks. If you beat it to with the ground, right? If you take a rusted iron rod and tap it continuously on the ground, you can feel that rust is falling down. That is called chipping. So if chips off, so therefore there is no protective effect. This is also useless. Iron is the best example. So if PBV is greater than 2, it is useless. If PBV is less than 1, also useless. If it is in between these two, then it is passive and provides protecting effect. Clear? So the pilling bedworth ratio or PBV, R means the ratio. Pilling bedworth ratio less than 1, non-protective. Greater than 2, non-protective. If it is between 1 and 2, then it is protective, passive. So example, aluminium, titanium. So aluminium, titanium, chromium containing steels. So this is. So see here, there is a layer formed on the top. Very good. But are there any holes? Are there any breaks? No. So this is good. This is protective. Protective. So this is what the pilling bedworth rule says. Till now we have discussed only about oxygen. Now we will go for the other gases. What are the other gases in the atmosphere, sir? Is there only oxygen present in our atmosphere? No, there are many gases. What are the other gases? Chlorine, sulfur dioxide, NO, NO2, H2S, all these gases. In the absence of moisture, remember this word, in the absence, because we are talking about a dry theory. Dry theory means in the absence of moisture. Even in the absence of moisture, this chlorine, sulfur dioxide, nitrous oxide, nitrogen dioxide, hydrogen sulfide, they react with the metals, they corrode it. So the corrosion products may be protective or non-porous, non-protective, whatever may be the case. So example, AgCl, the tarnishing of silver I told you, that is stable and protective. So only on the surface we have the black color. If once we rub it, right, and when we rub it, then what happens? Again inside there is silver, very bright in color. But SnCl4, it is protective. Silver AgCl is protective. But SnCl4 is volatile, non-protective. SnCl4 is volatile and non-protective. So corrosion with the other gases, our second concept in the dry corrosion is corrosion with other gases. What are the other gases I told you? Chlorine, sulfur dioxide, nitrous oxide, nitrogen dioxide, H2S, whatever may be. Even in the absence of moisture, they will be forming or corroding by forming oxide films. Respective compounds, not oxides. Because if it is oxygen, oxides. If it is chlorine, chlorides. So for example, I have taken silver chloride. Silver chloride is stable and protective. And it may be, some of them may be non-protective. Again, chlorine only I have taken. Tin chloride I have taken, but it is volatile and non-protective. So it is volatile and non-protective. So it implies that some compounds are protective and stable, and some compounds are non-protective and they are volatile. So this thing you should understand. So we have discussed two types. First one is corrosion by oxygen. Second one is corrosion due to other gases. All happens in the absence of moisture. That is the reason why we are calling it as dry theory of corrosion. You may be asked a question about explain the dry theory of corrosion. You should not be shocked because that is the other name for chemical theory of corrosion, because everywhere I am discussing about some chemical reactions. So chlorine reacts with silver to form AgCl, right? And tin reacts with chlorine to form SnCl4. So all the chemical reactions in the absence of moisture. Remember this point. In the absence of moisture. Next one we will go. There are only two. Any other? Yes, there is one more. That is the liquid metal corrosion. What is the liquid metal present? Yes, mercury, Hg. So this type of corrosion takes place when the liquid metal passes on the surface of one other metal. Even gold reacts with mercury. If you put your gold ring into mercury and take off for some time, nothing comes out because all the gold starts corroding. It forms a stable compound. So for example, liquid mercury, it causes corrosion of almost all metals. Not only gold, it also corrodes silver, iron, everything. And sodium metal in liquid state, it corrodes cadmium rods in nuclear reactors. This is important reason to avoid sodium metal in the nuclear reactors, because the cadmium rods are the control rods. Control rods which absorb the neutrons and control the rate of reaction. Therefore, sodium should be avoided. So till now we have discussed about the dry theory of corrosion. in three cases. First one is corrosion in presence of oxygen, corrosion in presence of other gases, and liquid metal corrosion. All these taking place in the absence of moisture. That is why we are calling it as dry theory of corrosion. So our question will come like this: explain in detail the dry theory of corrosion, or explain the concept of chemical theory of corrosion.